I'm going to do an insight video today. I've been sort of looking around at a couple of things lately, and somebody sent me a link the other day, and I think it was for Diana Cooper, and I was watching like on YouTube, and they were discussing sort of like Andromeda, and they were just discussing sort of Hellas or something like that, or Helios, and they were also like discussing something called Lyra, and they were talking about um, sort of these beings that are sort of anchoring in energies now. So like these are human beings that are channels for entering like a new consciousness, a new awareness, and some of this was like resonating with me. But some of it sort of like was also as I was looking into sort of the stuff that I've had, and it very much sort of the stuff I get seems to be very much around sort of from the spirit world, and it's very much around sort of like oneness. It's about sort of like all things are connected, the eternal moment, and you know, although this is anchoring in like new consciousness and new awareness from these vibrational frequencies of like higher dimensions and higher sort of spiritual vibrations, and it's sort of like it's coming back, but it's sort of like it rang true for what I've been talking about. This notion of these vibrations, these frequencies are here, and they've always been here. They've like it, when I did that, like I said, when I did my first group that I opened up was called like the sort of Lost Atlantis or something, or no, Atlantis Reclaimed. That was the term that I used, and that's sort of like it's sort of as I look back now through the vibrations and the frequencies and the energies and the information that I've been receiving, it's sort of like it's one thread of vibration frequency, and again it proves the example of this teaching, you know, the eternal wisdom of the eternal moment of the like where you talk about like the power, like Eckhart Tolle, he talks about the power of now, and they talk about the vibration, the frequency, and the oneness vibration of all things. And the Atlantis Reclaimed is very much an example of this, an example of that. You know, the teachings that the masters have been given, and the teachings that, you know, the spiritual beings have been given to me about this sense of oneness, the vibration, the eternal moment. Like Atlantis Reclaimed is awakening, it's awareness, it's the understanding that the vibration has always been here, and it's when we shift in consciousness and we shift in vibration and frequency, then we open up our channels up once again, to be in a place of openness with the source energy, and the integration of the higher self and the infinite self and the eternal self. And the eternal self is connected to source energy. The source energy is the creation and manifestation of all realities, all dimensions. It's the one vibrational frequency that aligns and unites the whole universe. The whole universe is, whether it's this plane of existence, another plane of existence, or another plane of existence. And this is the shift in consciousness that I've been talking about with when we're spiritual beings. I don't see no separation, and it's not really. So when people are talking about being a priest or priestess of Atlantis, for me it's like the vibration, the frequency has always been here, and the difference in the shift in consciousness is that people are awakening to their past lives to bring back, but it's not even to bring back, it's like I said, to reclaim what's always been there. And that was why the group was created. It was Atlantis Reclaimed. So it's saying that it's always been here, and reclaiming something is sort of once again awakening, and being aligned and being connected once again. It's expressing your truth, the eternal truth, that we're all light beings that are expressing a spiritual reality in a human existence. But the human existence and the spiritual reality are one vibration again, they're one frequency. And this is where the teachings of the integration of the infinite self and the higher self come into play. And again, the universal laws are a direct example of this. The universal law of oneness telling us that all things vibrate as one frequency, and that the eternal moment is the eternal vibration, the eternal frequency, that all things are created, and all things can be shifted, and all things can be dissolved, all things can be released, all things can be healed. and it's all through awareness. It's all through consciousness. And when you start to look at it, the vastness of that eternal moment, and the infiniteness, or the infinite sort of possibilities of that eternal moment. And when we become aware of that, we become aware of a frequency that we're all born from, and we all can access, and we can all use to create and manifest. It connects to the law of attraction. It connects to the law of compensation. The compensation is, what you create, and then what you're creating and attracting, it then plays out, and is in your reality. Compensation is like for your frequency and your vibration, create what's attracted the abundance in your life. And compensation, and correspondence, again, the universal law of correspondence, that you are this frequency, you are this eternal truth, you are this eternal moment. And accessing it, being that light, allows you to once again be in that oneness vibration again, which is the universal law of one, the universal law of oneness, the universal law of frequency and vibration. So, and the universal law of attraction is a manifestation. It's living within the eternal moment, the eternal frequency. And this is where all beings live, and all beings know this in the spirit world. They know there's no separation, and they know it's one consciousness and one eternal vibration and frequency. And this is the universal law of rhythm as well, with cycles of growth and development. And they work on this plane existence on a singular level with us, in our own journey, but they also work on a collective level. And then the universal law of rhythm works on an infinite collective level, within the spirit world. That the rhythm and the growth and cycle of the universe expands and grows with each collective, or each plane of existence, that beings become more conscious and more conscious of their creation, more conscious of like the source energy and the light vibration and the non-separation. When we start to become aware of that, we start to see that there is no connection, and there is no what I mean is there is a connection, but what I mean is, for a lot of us, we are sort of like, we are going around and we're seeing to connect the spirit world is something separate from us, when it's not. It is what we are. It is, and it's the I am presence in each and every one of us, that we are this expression, this light, this frequency, this vibration, and there is no separation. A lot of us sort of walk around in that, so you are the wisdom, you are the light, you are the way. In this way, you are the truth, you are the eternal truth. And this is what I feel some of the Christ consciousness and the ascended Master Jesus was talking about. I am the light, I am the way, I'm the truth. But it's the eternal truth that we are all beings of vibration and frequency. And when we integrate our higher selves and our infinite selves, we once again remember, and it's where this word reclaim comes in again. Reclaiming is also the awakening. It's the qualities of the soul purpose, the soul journey. And many of us are going through this at the moment. Many of us are coming into our own beingness, and our beingness is being that light, being that energy, and expressing our spiritual nature, our spiritual truth. Each and every one of us has a spiritual truth, and the spiritual truth is the wisdom, the qualities, the understanding, from many cycles of reincarnation, of being in many different planes of existence. Each and every one of us, when they talk about like a multi-dimensional being, that's what they mean as well. A multi-dimensional self is the self, that can exist in many planes of existence, and experience it, and be conscious of it. But it's also the multi-dimensional being, to me, is also the fact that we have lived in many different sort of like planes of existence, as people on the earth now. And this is what this reading was to, or not what this video of Diana Cooper was very much around. It was about these beings that were working as channels from a vibration of frequency, and like I said, Lyra, and like Andromeda and Helios. They're talking about these three different sort of vibrational frequencies of energy that are coming back into our sphere of consciousness within the planet. And the spirit world is infinite and vast, and this is the masters know this as well, and this is why the masters are working with us as well for these, for this kind of shifting and this kind of awakening, like a collective consciousness of awakening on this planet. And this is what's happening, and this is what happened with the many different cultures. When people talk about the Mayans, they talk about Atlantis, they talk about Lemuria. When you go back to these times, and they were talking about yesterday in this link, they were talking about like male energy and like female energy, and I don't know how I feel about this sometimes, because obviously there's a male sort of frequency and a vibration, but really we are these infinite beings, and actually, although I'm sort of like walking around as a male in a physical human existence, my infinite self it just is it has male, it has female, it has qualities of all of it. And it's sort of vibration, it vibrates with the wisdom of male, female, but there again there's no separation. So for me, I struggle with these kind of concepts within human sort of my spiritual journey, because I just see us as beings. I don't see as male and female. I don't see us as sort of like like the sort of like the I don't see it like that. I just see that we're one being. We're light energy beings, and we're all expressing our truth. And each and every one of us are a channel for that. So again, for me, everything I see is there's no separation. There just is, and it's just like one vibration, one frequency. For me, I have always like sort of like struggled a little bit with limitations and labels of when we look at our spiritual journey, and we're looking at the human existence, and we look at sort of like ourselves in those kind of like ways where we're male or we're female. And for me, it's like we're beings of light and energy, and the male or the female is just what I'm incarnated as at this time. So, and in the spirit world, that's how they look at it. They look at it as like it's not male or female, it's just that we're all beings of light, and we're all part of one vibration and frequency. And there are no sort of like there is no sort of definitions of that. There are obviously definitions in frequency and vibration, and the dimensions and the realities are all vibrating and bringing consciousness and frequencies on that level. But that plane of existence exist to serve the oneness vibration, the source energy, the source energy of light, the source creation. Each vibration exists, and it's creating created for a purpose to be part of that oneness vibration. So there is no separation. So whatever plane existence you're on, or whatever vibration or frequency you're on, there isn't sort of a higher or lower. It just is part of this oneness vibration again. We get caught up in higher and lower and good and bad and stuff like that, but they're all human terms of the human mind. In the spirit world, it does not work like that. It just works on the fact it's all part of the same whole, and the whole is only exists, and it only vibrates when all things are connected and all things are aligned and all things are in harmony. And this is what the sort of like I feel like with the masters and the many infinite guides, and this is what in one way this sort of insight video was about, like Lyra, Andromeda, and sort of like Atlantis, and they talk about Helios, or whatever they're talking about, and they're talking about being like priests and priestesses of it. See, to me, when I look at that, it's more about unlocking the keys of the consciousness of that time, to tell us again, once again, that to reclaim it, because again, it's not lost. People say the lost teachings of Atlantis. Well, nothing is ever lost. It's just like we have an awareness of it, and we're conscious. When we're awakened as like conscious beings on this plane of existence, and we have the awareness once again. Then these things that have always been there, or these frequencies that are all still here, will once again become sort of like will be revealed to us. And that's how I feel the masters and the spirit world works. They reveal things when the consciousness of the being, um, and the beings of like as a collective beings on this plane of existence are aware, and this is why some individual people are, talking about their journeys and their times and their lives within Atlantis and Lemuria and places like that. And like I said, I read that book once, and that sort of resonated with me. Where in Atlantis they had a crystal chamber, and they split um, the soul like into two aspects of the self, like the male and the female. Um, and that's what created that kind of like, you know where we look at each other as being male and female. But like before that, in Lemuria and Atlantis, it was never like that. We were just this being of energy and light, and we weren't male or female. We were just a being of vibration and frequency. And that's how I see the spirit world, and this is how I see the spiritual reality for me as a spiritual being. It's just, we are just vibration and frequency, and nothing is male, female, good, bad. It's just free vibrations and frequencies. And in that internal moment, when we shift our vibration, we shift our frequency, and our consciousness expands, and we shift our reality. And that's how we create, and that's how we manifest, and that's how we come back into harmony. Well, that's the insight for today anyway.